We're talking everything from the finale of The Pitt Season 2. Did you like this ending? Are you excited for Season 3? Did they maybe spend a little too much time on one storyline? We're going to cover all that and more on an all-new episode of Unbinged, starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, the podcast where we break down the shows, movies, and news you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown, joined as always. I got Jagger, Matt Kopfhamer. We're going to talk everything from this final episode of The Pitt Season 2, but first, the spoiler warning.
We are about to spoil the entire season of The Pitt, so it'd be a really bad time to jump in on this.
It would be a really shitty time to jump in. It's like, hey, was that finale any good? I haven't seen the show, but I'm curious about your thoughts.
Hey, funny story. My aunt, she'll read the first chapter and the last chapter of a book and then decide if the middle's worth her time.
Some books don't even make sense that way.
What the fuck, man? The only thing that I can
know,
ever...
But I'm saying, could you imagine if somebody watched the first episode, the last episode was like, well, I don't know if the other 13 episodes are worth my time.
Just leaves a 1-star review. I didn't get it. Not for me. The only thing I can ever vouch for is checking didthedogdie.com. And that's I get it.
That's fair.
That's a thing?
Yes. Yeah. What? Google that after the show. Okay. But
I actually
anyways,
refuse to watch anything that had a dog or an animal being hurt in it.
I actually believe that about you.
Don't watch Air Bud. Just saying. It gets really dark really fast.
John
All right,
Wick,
guys.
Though, great film.
Good family fun. All right, guys, let's talk about the Pitt finale here. I just want to open this up with a very open-ended question to you guys. Jag, I'll start with you. Was this a satisfying finale for a show that essentially for us it's like our second football season, man? We did 3 months, more than 3 months of this show, almost 4 here, and it comes down to this. Was it satisfying?
Yes. I don't want to say I called this ending, but I kind of did. That's everything that happened, with the exception of, like, is he actually going to take baby Jane Doe? I've already said that it's not about, solving the case. It's not House. It's, it's solving emotions and getting a little bit of closure throughout. And I think we got that.
Beautifully said, Jag. This, the ambiguity in this finale felt earned, because the premise of the show is this is a single shift. How many of us make major life decisions over 12 hours? We don't. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes us, speaking to the people we love, getting advice. This isn't something that you can decide, especially after the shift they just had. So for anyone that's like, oh, well, Robbie didn't make a decision. Well, Dana, all these people didn't make a decision. It's like, that's okay. And that's natural. And that feels like real life, which is what this show is supposed to be portraying. So I was good with the ambiguity. I thought it felt natural. And if you're an optimist, you see the final scene with Robbie with the baby going, oh, he'll at least foster the baby, take some time off, get himself recentered, then come back. The pessimist is going to see that, like, nope, he's going to go kill himself. So you get both sides depending on what your perspective is. And I think that was beautifully done.
I think from this, there's something that you guys mentioned. I think there was a confidence from the writers, knowing that there's more runway where it's like, hey, we don't need to have everything resolved in a single day, in a single shift, and we can leave this a little more open-ended. But on the other side of that, I will say, Koff, you say like, oh, well, Robbie didn't make a decision today. I think the difference here is that other people are making decisions about careers and how they feel about certain things, whereas really the whole thing that we've been leading through this entire season, this is going to be my only slight pushback, has been, is Robbie going to end his life? And maybe we don't need exact clarity on that, but to make that your running theme throughout the entire season and then leave it very ambiguous, I think we're able to see that this was well written. I do wonder how many audience members are going to say, I feel like I just wasted months of my life watching this show because nothing really happened.
The dumb ones will. The smart ones will understand. I mean, we don't have they saw
do that.
He may have. No, I am. I'll be blunt. He may not have made the final decision.
I like it.
Yeah, because he may not have made the final decision in that moment, but he got enough of the people around him giving him the honest truth of like Duke straight up said it, like, what are you doing? So we got enough of that throughout the season that you as an audience member are now given the opportunity, kind of like the end of Inception, to make your own decision. And you can say, Robbie is going to do this or Robbie's going to do that, depending on your perspective. And that's what I think was so brilliant about how they wrote this show. You could say, if it's a waste of time because the character didn't make his decision, but I think it's more powerful that you, the audience member, get to make that decision for him until we get a season 3.
I just want to, there's one small difference. You're saying he didn't make his decision. Maybe he has made his decision and we just don't know.
Right. It wasn't translated on screen yet.
If you don't like that, that doesn't make you a dumb viewer. It's simply a preference. It's like having different taste palettes. It doesn't mean that you don't understand food. You just don't like certain things. I'm not saying that this show was a waste of time, but
Right.
I think this was bold of the writers to say we're going to give you 15 episodes with really no resolution and enjoy the story. I think that's a bold move by them and a good move in many ways.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle of both of you. I get where Koff's saying, but like Alfredo, I also hear you to where I think if your actual thought was that was a waste of time, I think that's stupid. If you did not like it
That's what
and
I'm
you
saying.
don't prefer that, that is fine.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Jagger translating better what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Koff gets an anger translator on the pod. Awesome.
What is it, like Key and Peele or whatever?
Yeah. By the way, Jag, I got to commend you. That was a great lean back laugh. We got a comment about not
Yeah,
laughing
yeah.
directly into the mics, and we're going to take it seriously, guys.
This is for you. We deserve 5 stars because of
Yeah.
it, if you haven't already.
5-star.
I think that interesting hearing that you guys thought it was ambiguous and that you don't know if Robbie was going to kill himself or not. I felt so certain after watching that. Like, I don't know if it's just because I've connected so much with this entire journey with Robbie. I don't know if it's because it's kind of been in his position before, but it was hard for me to see the sequence of conversations that he had, because that's what this episode was a series of conversations where everyone's kind of come to the same conclusion about Robbie. Robbie got all the advice he could possibly get, and then he finishes off with that nice moment with baby Jane Doe. It would be impossible for me to end myself after that, because at the end of the day, he acknowledged the hard thing out loud. Like I told you guys, I was thinking about like a sad moment in my life about a dog and watching this, and it just brought up a lot of other things. Like for me, I'm a foster care kid. Abandonment is huge. Like that's like when Robbie said that, I'm like, fuck, man. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to feel abandoned. And I think what the conversations led to was Robbie realizing that he would be abandoning all these people here if he would do that. And that baby is like it is a baby, but it's symbolism for that entire department for him, you know.
Absolutely. And Jag, there's 2 scenes that make me side with you where it's like I don't think he actually would go through with it. It ends with him being with baby Jane Doe and literally verbalizing like you were abandoned, I was abandoned, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then secondly, when he confronts Dr. Al Hashimi about her medical issue and how she cannot be the attending doctor in an ER because she will risk people's lives, you don't get that angry if you're on your way out of this, if you're on your way to taking yourself out. He would have just been like, all right, whatever, and then gone on. But showing that kind of anger, he still feels ownership over that department and he's still fighting for it. So when you have that kind of fight still left in you, I feel like that leans itself more to he's going to come back. And I think he will take some time off, but I don't think he's going to take his life at this point because he's still showing that he wants this department to succeed.
He's going to take paternity leave because it's just like
Yep.
he had, again, I go back through every conversation, the conversation that he had with Dr. Mohan. He's like, I expected 2 kids in college by now
Yep.
or whatever. And she's like, it's
And
not too late. Does she mean that for you? That like this right here for him, that's not too late. He could still be a father, you know, like right now. As someone who's adopted, it doesn't matter how old he is or whatever, you know, the baby just needs love.
And couple that with a conversation that he didn't have with, but Dana had with other members of the staff saying, "Hey, foster, are you interested in fostering? Are you?" She brought it up a couple times, and so those two things I think is what for me in my head canon. I'm like, yeah, Robbie takes time off to foster baby Jane Doe, and then eventually she gets adopted to another home family, and he's able to then come back to the hospital refreshed and recharged. Maybe he got a therapist along the way.
I want to circle back. I think we're all on the same page that I don't think he has decided to take his life. I think he has decided that he's going to live. Um, I think a lot of that starts with seeing Whitaker. I think a lot of that continues and totally flourishes when he's holding the baby. And Jag, as you said, says the quiet part out loud. It's going to be okay. Right? Like, I think that a lot of times what it takes for a person is to look in that mirror. And we do that with each other. We do that with friends. We do that with family. You're telling someone it's going to be okay. And you kind of have to look back at yourself and be like, fuck, it is going to be okay. You know, I think with Robbie here, can I actually talk something logistical from the show? Would it be incredibly irresponsible for them to let him foster that baby if everyone was just worried about his mental health and whether he's going to kill himself or not? If within the same day, week, month, they're like, we were really worried you were going to take your life. Why don't you add another one? Like, you can't just, Super Mario one up and add another life in there to take care of.
Yes and no. I think they know
you
him well enough that they'd be like, this is what he needs, versus like, oh, he's gonna kill himself and the baby.
because he was trying to be dad to his ex's kid, that grown kid still, and like I don't, and we're not quite clear how long that relationship is. Like maybe it like makes more sense if I had a little bit more context, but I will say, A, you are right to have that question, Alfredo. B, me taking the depressing side of it, I didn't get out of foster care till I was 8. Robbie's like best case scenario a lot of times, Like I'm not trying to be shitty. It's like you got a doctor who just really wants to love a kid to adopt you. That's best case scenario. You're not going to a foster kid farm where it's just like, hey,
And on
make
paper,
jewelry
he
for
looks really good.
yeah, like it's and we know him at least from like a show perspective that he's actually a good person. Like a lot of people who are terrible people take foster kids. A lot of them, a lot of it's like fundamentalist
It's for
Christians
a check, right?
for check, or the fundamentalist Christians like, look what I did for God. I'm converted a black baby to Mormonism or some shit like that. That's like a real thing. I'm not insulting anyone's religion, but I am insulting people who like try to play church Brad and Angelina.
I want to talk more about Robbie and the way this ended. Before we do that, guys, if you've enjoyed this conversation, you found it insightful, you want to add some of your own thoughts, please comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the finale. Make sure you like this episode. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, those 5-star reviews. Look, we're not laughing into the mics. We're backing up, guys. Okay, this is a big step for us. Give us those 5-star reviews. It helps us so much as an independent pod be able to grow. And we've got a bunch of great content coming up for you guys. Every Wednesday, we're going to be covering The Boys season 5. This Friday and next Tuesday, we're going to be covering just Beef season 2, episodes 1 through 4, and then episodes 5 through 8. So you'll have that in 2 parts as well. That just dropped on Netflix. This week on Saturday, we're going to give you your Friends and Neighbors season 2, but then next week, that's going to shift over to Thursday. So some things moving around, but we're covering a lot of stuff. And then for our premium bingers, you guys have Invincible season 4, Euphoria. We've got our rewatches, and we've got a bunch of new stuff that we're going to be adding along the way. So please make sure you're subscribed there. Now, guys, one thing I want to bring up with Robbie and with this ending, and maybe to how the resolution here was not the same as last season, where they're all sitting on a park bench drinking a beer, and it was like, well, good first shift, everybody. We'll see you next time. This was more of them like staring at the fireworks, and everyone seemed broken or incomplete or just open-ended in one way or another. And I'm wondering, in your eyes, should more shows be doing this? Should we be giving shows more leeway, more runway to do this? Because right now it does feel like when we watch TV shows, we are so programmed to get answers. What's the mystery? What's the answer? Here's a theory video. Should more shows be doing this and just allow the story to marinate?
Alfredo,
See,
you know
that's
my
where-
answer, dog.
What's your answer?
What's your answer?
It 100%. That's real life, guys. Like
Yeah.
and everyone's answer to where I like, and I've had this conversation with you, Alfredo. Like I like these things because they make me feel good, and I have that escape. That's fine. You know, I have things like that are my escape that make me feel good. Mine are just different. I've watched anything Gordon Ramsay's ever fucking made, every show. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
that's my stuff.
Kitchen
that I
Nightmares
do.
fucks my shit up.
Yeah, like that's the stuff I want to watch, you know. But
What
like
are
as
you?
far as like
Idiot
dramas and yeah, as far as dramas and TV shows, I like things that I relate to in the real life. And from my experience, from what I've seen, more things end unsatisfied. Even the good things don't end up the way that you want them to. You are taking the most out of what you get. That is the biggest lesson out of life, is being content and not getting everything you want and just being happy what you have because of all the other things and how worse it could get, you know?
Jack's like,
Everyone
you sons
got
of
out
bitches,
alive
you're
and
going
Robbie
to take
didn't-
your bad ending and you're going to fucking like it.
Robbie didn't kill himself. Whitaker went home happy. Santos learned how to smile and hang out with the autistic girl who learned how to hang out without her sister. That's a fucking win, guys. Sometimes that's a win.
It's an absolute win.
Yeah.
Right. So my only pushback against that is I don't want to see the pendulum swing too far the other way, where everything suddenly has an unsatisfying ending or a whatever you want to call it. Because I think it's really important that we have to look at properties and the way they're framed, right? This particular property, the Pit, is framed as a slice of real life in the eyes or through the eyes of ER doctors. Whereas something like Harry Potter is a fantasy series and it's meant to be about the hero's journey. So different categories completely, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to see Harry Potter, the end of Harry Potter, be like, well, he grew up to be a cop. Oh shit, that is how it ends.
He just spins the Elder Wand and we don't know if it topples.
Exactly.
Kopf, did you
no,
write that one on a 3x5 card?
I did.
You were ready for that bad boy. Harry Potter grows to become.
prepared.
Oh wait, he did.
Oh no, he's a narc. No, but I do think it's important that different stories have different framing devices, have different endings, have different stories and themes that they want to play with. So if everything becomes one way or the other, I think that's a reaction too far.
I agree with that because I don't want this to become a cop out. Because like I didn't find this ending ambiguous. I found it again just unsatisfying, and those are two different things to me. Inception is ambiguous, and even that pisses me off because, like, I'll be honest, I find ambiguous endings a cop out a lot of times. It's like, oh, cool, homie didn't know how to end this, so he's just like, it's magic, it was a dream. Like that's some lazy
The
fucking
opposite.
bullshit.
I like ambiguity. I like it when the writer gives me the option to finish the story myself, as long as it's set up the right way. If it's just
Kopf,
like,
you know
and
what?
then 90
You know what?
minutes
Next
and then
time you're
black
having
screen,
sex,
you know.
I hope she just walks away and lets you finish it yourself.
Well, damn, when you put it that way.
Yeah, thank you, Alfredo.
That's
I'm
some
mad.
real world practicality.
Usually it's the opposite.
I'm just saying. You're gonna get Christopher Nolan next time.
Kopf's like,
Just
I
stop
like to
spinning.
imagine that she made it to completion as well.
We did it together, maybe.
We both finished. Yay! Happy endings.
Love
all
you, buddy.
around.
I'm sorry you set me up for that joke. Love you.
It's fantastic. That was great, right? Yeah, I guess. Oh.
Kopf just patting his own back. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. All right. Well, I mean, we started this whole conversation talking about Robbie, and it feels like we kind of had to because that has been the talking point throughout the season. Robbie, what is he going to do? He's going to go on this trip. He's going to end his life. Like, is he going to stay in the hospital? So much around him. Something that we talked to our manager Scott about is like, he says this show is too big and has too many characters in the ensemble for us to have been so focused, not us, meaning the show, to have been so focused on just Robbie. Did you guys feel like the show was overly focused on one character? Or did you think that everything was kind of done just about right? Kopf, I'll start with you.
So Robbie's our protagonist. Like, yes, it's an ensemble cast, but Robbie is our protagonist, so it makes
Which
sense
one's
that
the
he gets
Pit?
the most screen time. Which one is the pit? Probably the sunburn lady.
Dana.
Dana's the pit.
Oh, Dana's the pit. So for me, having Robbie on screen the most seemingly makes perfect sense for me, because in an ensemble cast, you can either try to give everyone equal focus, or you do the central and everyone orbits around. And that's kind of what the pit is. And it makes sense for me. Right, Jag?
How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like when Scott said that. I love you, buddy. I wanted a Dr. Cox you so bad, where I was just like, wrong, 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 wrong. Because Dr. Robbie, like you said, is the protagonist, and everyone else has their storylines, and not every season everyone is going to be the focus. Like, I felt like Dr. McKay took a massive backseat this season in comparisons to last season, and that was fine. She crushed it in her role. I don't think we're going to see like less Dr. McKay next season. It could be different. Whereas, I feel like Dr. Langdon and Dr. King had a little bit more focus. Dr. King had like whole episodes that were kind of just about her and her sister getting laid and her not. And then Al Hashimi is another one. And, it's true though. But
I think what happened here was we almost kind of just like got the ball in the hands of our best player in the fourth quarter, whereas the show was winding down. What was the story? It wasn't like last time where you had this mass shooting and a bunch of people come in and the craziness of the pit and just surviving that one day. What happened was we had an emotional attachment to these characters. And while everyone else's story was kind of going on, there wasn't anything big enough that made us say like, man, how does this end? I think the story that captured all of us, that had us asking the biggest questions, is what is going to happen to Robbie? Is he going to be here next season? Like when we watch The Boys, we don't say, huh, they're giving us too much Homelander. We gotta back off this guy. I think this works. Is there another character, just for the sake of conversation? Is there another character you wish you would have seen more of to maybe balance it all out?
So maybe. Okay. So my thing is with Dr. Al, right? She got a lot of screen time.
McKay's been your girl since season 1.
Yeah, dude.
Dope.
You're the Donnie Darko reason. You're the Donnie Darko meme where it's like, do you like her for story reasons or for sexual reasons? Sexual reasons.
So I don't know if it's weird, right? Like I wanted more of Dr. Al's story, but the part that they only gave us in the last 2 episodes, because they kind of given us those brief flashes of her seizures where she kind of like goes off into space for a few seconds. But I felt like I wish they'd given it to us a little bit earlier so we'd have more time with that storyline versus the last 2 episodes. It feels almost rushed, because then you get Robbie's reaction when he finds out what's happening, and then the last thing we see with Dr. Al is her breaking down in her car crying as she's leaving. And so I don't know. I guess I wanted a little bit more of that storyline, but I'm okay with where they left it.
I think that now, this is me talking about story and writing logistics. I think now that they know that this show's a hit and they're probably get all the runway they want, we can get a little bit more cohesion and connectedness from season to season, to where season 1 felt very finite. Like if we never got a season 2 of The Pit, I wouldn't be left thinking, whatever happened to this. Now we know we're going to get a 2 and 3. I think what we have next season is conflict already kind of baked in and ready that we're back for. And the 2 points is Robbie and Langdon did not set well with me. Like literally up until the last minute, I wanted to punch Robbie in the face. Like I just felt, I don't know if it's because I was having a bad day, but like Langdon is a fucking saint, dude. Like he's doing a great job even. And like, I forgive him because I don't think I would have been emotionally mature enough to handle Robbie like that. Cause he was truly a dickhead up until the end. Like even when he wasn't, because a patient was there. And then next season, Al Hashimi's going to be there, but we know there's going to be some tension there as to what happened. Yeah.
We're getting the Pit Civil War.
Because, well, not only that, but Robbie threatened to go over her head to the administration if she doesn't do it herself. So I don't know if that was an empty threat or if he actually does it, and then we start next season with just straight up bad blood between the two of them.
And now we got bad blood.
So how do you think they end up doing next season? Because I know that's a very loaded question.
They just skip it entirely, honestly, and just go no day shift, all night shift.
No, I'm calling it. They've already said they want to do different season with weather.
They did winter.
More homeless people. Yeah, winter. Freezing. Pittsburgh's really cold. We're going to have a lot of shit related with that.
The hospital is a Pittsburgh-themed hospital in Hawaii, Jag. The winter doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Sorry.
I think we're only 3 months out. Like, we literally get, like, Robbie coming back from his sabbatical and back into it in winter. That's how I think it happens.
Do you think they're going to do it on a holiday and do, like, Thanksgiving or Christmas? Or New Year's?
I think they're trying to move away from the holidays.
Yeah.
That was something that they said. Like, they didn't want to keep putting it on a holiday so that they can, leave it more open, right? Because, like, obviously holidays are going to be crazy times for hospitals, naturally. I think what they want to do also is just show a side of the ED there where it's just supposed to be normal, but still not. And I think when you take away the craziness of outside, you can actually focus on the story of the characters inside. And that's something where I think they could do that a bit more in this next season.
Another thing that we're forgetting as well is other hospitals have shut down. That's something else that is already written into the plot that can rack up the tension, is that they're going to give you a lot more like a business.
Still understaffed, but they have way more people traffic.
With needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So I think then
I also want to see more. Sorry, I wonder if they're gonna do more interactions with like the people from upstairs. Like if we get more of like a Dr. Park, we get more of like the surgeon and specialist coming down. About it. I'm just saying.
A little more Donovan McNabb in the ED. Cool.
Don Cheadle. Donovan McNabb.
You got me. I'm actually Don Cheadle.
So one thing that I was thinking as I was watching this, man, is the one thing I wish I would have seen more in this season is the people that are in Robbie's orbit. Because I think all we saw was him really just pissing them off. Him and Dana, him and Langdon. Even at the end there, him and Abbott, kinda. Like there was just friction with every single person. And I think that's what happens to people when you don't love yourself. You just get angry at everyone else around you to push them away. Because it's just easier to not have to deal with anyone. What I started to realize is as I'm sitting there looking at Abbott and how he's acting in this season, I think that could be something we see in the future for Robbie, is like that's sort of where he is a season from now, in the middle of season 3, where he actually is the calm guy. He's back to being the calming presence and the leader. And it's more so some of these characters that are under him that are growing and developing. It's like, I kind of want to see the Whitaker crash out. Like I want to see the lovable, country bumpkin kid have just, we kind of saw him have a bad day, but that was more just like getting shit on and thrown up on. I want to see something real. Him and the drama with this wife. I want to see something happen else. We've already seen Langdon, Santos. Like let's get to some of those characters as well.
I want to see Santos and Whitaker do the Abbott and Robbie switch. Like Santos becomes this like funny, calming presence that has our shit in order, and Whitaker is just kind of wore out dick. And I don't mean that like Whitaker's like a bad person, but like Whitaker is prone to, I put myself out there for people all the time and I'm going to get wore out and tired. They're already saying this.
Santos,
like, hey,
Santos already mentioned that to Robbie. She's worried he's spreading himself too thin because
they're planting the seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, they're waiting for harvest because he's a farmer.
Oh, fuck off.
I thought you were doing the pun. I'm sorry.
No.
I was just saying things.
It just fit. Because something we haven't seen on screen yet, but they mentioned is he's also part of the street team. So that could be another avenue where maybe he's on a call
like
for the
hip-hop
street
kids?
team. No. It's what McKay did with Ogilvy, where she goes out and gives medication to the unhoused. So there could be a situation where, like we saw with Abbott, where Abbott was with the SWAT team and getting shot at. We could see something similar where Whitaker's on a call with the street team and gets attacked or whatnot, and then he's suddenly a patient. So maybe not a crash out per se, but he could be in danger. There's many avenues they can explore with this character just on what they've already set up.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that we kind of, it was, I don't want to say it was a throwaway, it was a quick scene towards the end here where we've been wondering where Whitaker's badge was. And I think there was a lot of theories online that maybe
Digby.
Langdon had taken his badge. Digby. It was great. It was great. And it was an easy, lighthearted way to show that. But I think it also shows something maybe a little bit more artsy about like how every patient that leaves that hospital sort of takes something with them and can take a genuinely, or not genuinely, metaphorically take a piece of the doctor with them, right? And vice versa. Like kind of like how Robbie was saying, every time we lose a life here, it takes a bit of your soul. And I thought that was just a great way to make it a physical representation of Digby sort of gets his soul back and he walks out with Whitaker's badge. It was just a cool little wink at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
And Digby is like I hate to say the like a scorpion, you know, like the whatever, like can I ride the back
The Scorpion
of
and
the
the
frog?
Frog parable.
The scorpion of the frog, because like he's a nice person, but like it's in his nature, you know, like
be a
the
little
boots are
klepto.
made for walking. They almost got him back to humanity, and he's just like, you know, I'm a head out as soon as he got that chance.
Dude, he took
I
the
feel like-
practice dummy too. Like he
Yes.
took a
Did he-
lot.
oh, I
he,
missed that.
He
That's-
took. It was sitting
Jeez.
in the cart. Like he
I
took
missed
so
that
much
completely.
shit and walked out the front door of the hospital.
He just flashed his new badge, and they're like, "Okay."
It's just amazing.
That's why homelessness is a
I
lot
didn't
of
get that.
unchecked mental illness, and not so much that people don't want to work, guys. FYI, if you believe
Right.
that. So
And it's also because the Reagan administration defunded a lot of mental health institutions back in the 80s and 90s. Whoa! It's almost like the problems from today started 40 years ago.
thank you, Kyle.
Sorry, I'll get off my
Do
soapbox.
you feel better
No.
about it?
I allow
No,
it.
I don't.
Oh.
We can always slander Reagan around here.
Did you guys know he's still dead?
Might have been a little. That's hilarious, but that was a little far. A little bit. I don't know why though. I don't know why. It just feels wrong.
Jack's like, that's where I draw my line. Guys, speaking of, you know, you talked about like mental instability and untreated mental health. I want to talk about Alashimi here because that was a storyline that was the big cliffhanger from the last episode. We come into this one, and I wouldn't say that it was resolved fairly quickly, but we kind of get the immediate answer as to, okay, what is next? And then that leads to another new problem here. And I will say that I do wish that in this season, there could have been a greater connection between Alashimi and Robbie, because it made me ask, why is this character trusting him with that information? Given that everything that she has seen about him today has been like that he will not react well to this. He has been having
She
the
was gambling.
shittiest of days.
She was gambling he would be more compassionate, and it blew up in her face. That's exactly what happened. She was hoping
Okay.
that she could, if she opened herself up to him, he would be like, "Oh, okay, I get you." And instead,
No,
he was
I
like,
I get that concept of that. I'm just, why at all? Like, why even bring it up to the other attending? It's not even like a good thing for her to try to be like, hey, this is why we need two attendings in here all the time. Like there's nothing that's advantageous here for her to bring that up. And so I'm wondering, I do think it becomes a little bit of a weak plot device going forward.
I think she was trying
Maybe.
to appeal to his humanity. To be honest, like
There.
to me, it
Yeah.
tracks.
She saw him crash
And-
out.
Yeah, I see people who are honest like that all the time, and I'm like, that's nuts, bro. I actually have done that where like I got kicked out of the fire department because they were like, "Have you ever sold weed before?" And I was just like, "Yeah, man. You know, like it's not that big of a deal." It actually was a huge deal for them, you know. And they're like, "Well, why didn't you lie?" And I'm like, because I thought if I was
They didn't want
honest
to.
that they would respect me more. That's not true. So like I would do that as well. Like I'm when I say people do that, I'm saying that I've done that.
I'm people. You know, I did that one
'Cause-
time. I may have told this story before, but when I was a teenager, I applied to work at Best Buy, and they ask you like if a coworker is stealing something, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I approach the coworker and be like, hey man, put that back. And they're like, no, double fail, get out.
You no, see, you want corporate. Like I learned this from a young age that corporations want you to be a narc. And
Snitch
you always
quick.
say yes on, yeah, they want you to snitch. And you say yes in the application process, but then you never do.
to my
Just
corporate
like,
job. Love y'all. I will snitch.
wink.
Snitchy snitch. I guess my question here with Alashimi is not the I guess I understand what you guys are saying. She's trying to appeal to his softer side. Nothing about what he has done that day signified a softer side to Robbie. She also just met him that day. So I wouldn't understand the difference between her revealing that to Robbie or Abbott or quite literally anyone else at that point. It was one of those things where I'm like, huh, that was an interesting choice that now becomes a big plot point heading into the new season.
Especially
Kind of
when
out of
he's
nowhere.
leaving for an entire fiscal quarter. That's
Right. It definitely wasn't the smartest decision, but I can understand from a character perspective, like why, because I'm trying to remember exactly what happened preceding that, because I'm fairly certain he like lost his shit on somebody in front of her, and then she was trying to like help him regain perspective. Maybe I can't exactly
Well,
remember what the preceding event was, but there was something.
as we're talking about it, she actually had, because remember, she had two of her seizures, and he was the one that was bringing it up. So as we're talking about it,
Okay.
I'm recollecting that he kept bringing it up to her, like, hey, what's up? Are you okay? You sort of freezed in
Right,
there.
there it is.
And so I think it was more so that he had been interrogating her throughout the day, and she was like, okay, let me let you into the circle of trust here. This is what's going on. Be nice. And he was like, no, fuck
Get it
that.
right
Get
in the
out.
ass.
because she did say too. She's just like, most people just think I'm thoughtful.
Which is why I had the theory that she was actually AI, because she was like computing.
Have you guys
I'm not
watched
gonna
Love on the
lie, I'm
Spectrum
happy
yet?
she said it because I do that too. I'm not having a seizure. I just check out mentally sometimes, and someone like talks to me, and I'm just like,
That's why I was asking. Have you seen Love on the Spectrum yet?
yeah,
With the,
dude,
with
I'm
the
watching it
kid
now.
Logan, where he's just like, sometimes I just space out, but it's just because I'm thinking about stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I get it, man.
Legit.
That's not even an autism thing. That's just the everybody thing. We're
I
all
don't know,
there.
sometimes I just lose interest in what you're saying and I space out. Sorry.
Okay. Cough, you're just being mean today. To
I'm on
people.
one today. I don't know why.
Yeah, you are. You're on a heater, man. You good? You want us to
Maybe it's
maybe get you a baby to
news-
hold or something?
Probably. It's just everything going on has got me just pissed off, on edge.
Oh, good. Let's do some therapy here. 40 minutes in. It's exciting, guys. Let's talk about this though. How did this compare to season 1? Season 2, I think, was very different. This very much felt like a yin and yang scenario where the story type was different, the character types were different. In the first season, you were almost rooting for everyone, and they were just kind of battling against patients having to come in. This time, you were just kind of rooting for the day to be over. Like, this was less about them having to battle the patients coming in and more of just like, let's just get this done with. So they're very different seasons, but how did they compare one to the other? Jag, I'll start with you.
Season 1, I think, was more palatable for everyone. Season 2 connected with me on an emotional level more. So I watched this
Perfect
one from
answer.
week to week, so it's different, you know.
That's
I'm
that's
right there with,
perfect answer.
Yeah, I'm right there with Jag. I prefer season 2 because I connected with it on an emotional level, where season 1 felt more of a linear story. So it's like, okay, just everything kind of flowed through each other. It felt very much like A to B to C to D, with everything culminating in the last 3 episodes. Whereas this one felt a little bit more disjointed from a storytelling, because we're kind of jumping character to character and their emotional issues, and it didn't always flow from one episode to the other. But this season made me think or contemplate more than season 1 did. Like, I felt like I connected with some of the characters a little bit more, not just emotionally, but also like where they're at in their careers. And even though I'm not a doctor, like, just parts of it, I felt like I was able to connect to it more than season 1. And I wonder if it's because season 1 was almost written safer, and like you said, it was more palatable for a wider audience, and this one felt like they really narrowed down to like, let's talk about mental health and what's happening with our medical staff. And we got some of that with season 1, don't get me wrong. Like Robbie's whole crash out over the death of his mentor, like that was a prominent theme in season 1, but this just felt like season 2 amped everything up by 10.
Yeah, I think that's going to naturally happen with this show because the longer it's around, the more attached we're going to be with these characters. So we can dive into something that's a bit deeper, a bit more emotional. I feel like season 3 is just going to crank it up that much more, where you're going to be focused more on the stories of these individual characters. I think you guys nailed it. I don't want to repeat anything that you said. It's exactly that. If we're looking back here at season 2, let's do the thing that we always do. We review the seasons on a scale from 1 to 10. We give it a score. Who wants to go first here?
9.5.
I can do it. Wow,
That was so quick. All right, Jag. Why 9.5?
To me, it was almost perfect, and I know that's what a 9.5 is. It landed in a way that's unsatisfying, but I think that's the way that it should have landed realistically. I was entertained every week. I never felt like there was a lull. Everything was written correctly. I just, like, out of all the things that we bitch and moan about, there was none of these problems for 15 weeks. That's incredible television, you know.
And for that reason, I give it a 10. Like, I can't think of a
Whoa,
reason to give
you mean that it's on the
anything.
Agatha All Along level of quality?
It really is. It really is. And again, the reason Agatha got such a high score for me is because I emotionally connect. You know, I was going through the death of my mom at the time, and it just connected with me in a way that was like, it was powerful on a personal level. So this felt very similar to me, where I connected with most of these characters. One of the things that I thought it did incredibly well is the character of Ogilvy. I started with a white hot hatred for that character, and I ended his arc being like, I sympathize with him, and I understand I kind of understand where he's coming from. And so for a show to be able to do that compellingly and convincingly, fantastic. So I can't find a real flaw with any of this season, so I have to give it a perfect score.
Yeah, the way I look at this season is I don't think it is overly flawed in any one way. However, at least for me, I didn't resonate with it as much as you guys did. And I think it does exactly what it intends to do. It intends to be a grading show, a show that kind of just breaks you down week after week after week. That's why I don't think this is a show that you can binge. I think when you binge it, you walk out of the room, it's a rough fucking day after binging this series. So I understand that is the point of it, and I think that's why I struggle to get excited about each next episode. Maybe that's not the way I want to put that, but I'm not that much lower than you guys. I'm going to be at a 9. I don't think it was perfect, but I'm looking back at some of my other scores. Like I gave Task an 8.5, and I think this was better than Task. I gave the Black Mirror season 7 episodes an 8.5. I think this was better than that. So I think if I'm going and looking at other scores I've given, that's about where I want to have this. I don't think it was perfect, but I do think it continues to be very, very good television.
And I don't even mean this as a slight, but that goes to back what I was saying at the beginning, to where, like, for me, I like television like this. For you, that's not like, this is like, if we didn't do this show, this, like you said, it's not going to be the thing that you crave. You're like, sign me up for another birth. You know, it's like,
right? Like I have to acknowledge this is not the thing that I would go looking for, but I can respect how good it is when I watch it. It's kind of like golf. I can respect that some of those guys are really good. I'm not going to fucking watch.
Yeah.
Did I just compare the Pit to golf? That's not good. It's still a 9 for me.
I was like, that's kind of an insult.
That was rude. Yeah. That was rude.
Pump your brakes there, kid.
Maybe if you're golfing on a minefield, then it's closer to the pit. But
there we go. Koff, you just slam dunked it from half court for us. Thanks
Nailed
for that
it.
one, buddy. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap for us. We are going to be back again next Thursday with our episodes of Your Friends and Neighbors. So if you have not caught up on that, that is over on Apple TV. For those of you that have been watching The Pit, on HBO Max. We are also covering Euphoria. Okay, Euphoria, we're going to be doing that every Monday. Those episodes come out for our premium bingers. The first few here are going to be totally free. So catch up on that. Join us for each of those episodes and make sure you are subscribed to Unbinged. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Koff. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Yeah, if they wanted to do it right, they should have cast Daniel Radcliffe as the new Frodo. And
No,
then
you
they
take
could
it a
have
step
cast
further.
Elijah Wood.
You do the
Yes.
whole Harry Potter cast and you just
As
bring
the old-
them in. You get Emma Watson as Galadriel.
So-
You just, yeah.
Let's make a farm
it.
system. Like you start out of the Harry Potter, and then once you're older,
move to Lord of the
congrats, you get
Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so then what is, yeah,
when do you
so
retire?
what's the lowest level of the league? Like what's our single A?
Has to be Harry
like-
Potter,
what's a-
right?
Harry Potter has to.
Well,
That's
well,
wait,
That's-
what's the
that's
main?
yeah.
baby. You can't get younger than 11. Are we picking apart Nick Jr. at that point?
Oh, okay, no. So we're literally talking about them being young.
yeah. Well, that's what I
Okay,
meant.
we're going by actual age, not like level of fandom.
Yeah, we make a circle where you start out Harry Potter, you work your way up to Lord of the Rings, and then you retire as a Hogwarts teacher.
oh.
Do you hit like Star Wars at some point in the middle there?
You can.
What about-
You can go a different
what about
route,
James
like Game
Bond?
of Life. Who?
What do you mean, James
I thought
Bond?
I
That's
thought we were
not
doing
even
British properties. I thought we were
What
doing
the
British
fuck?
properties.
Fuck
Now we're
this.
doing
We're talking
Star
about
Wars.
nerds.
Koff,
stuff.
that's what the
Oh.
dude. We're over here
I was
talking
going under
baseball. And
different
you're
parameters.
you're talking cricket. Like what the
cricket.
fuck are we doing here?
Let you go bring
Similar-
up
they
Doctor
look
Who.
similar.
Like not that. We're
I-
not that show.
I was gonna bring up Sherlock, BBC Sherlock. Be like, when do they get to that?
Why
Never
are you
finished
picking
one
all
season of
things
it.
that are like single actor stories? We're talking about
Not
ensembles
quite.
here.
You
champ.
have a whole ass cast in Sherlock.
Oh, we totally.
Somebody's
left
got
out
to be
Marvel.
Moriarty.
We left out who?
Marvel.
Marvel. Well, Marvel's
Marvel
dead.
and
DC's rising.
That Marvel's borderline big league for like a different category. Like that's nerdum, but like they pick people who are cool and then they put glasses on them and they're like, "Look, I'm a nerd." Like that's what
What
Marvel is. You know?
What about once you've done your full cycle, you then graduate to like full on elevated horror, like Robert Eggers?
Okay, I love this.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, now we're in.
yeah. You it's like congrats, you're great. You've elevated to Paul Thomas Anderson. You know? And
When
then-
did you get
all
to
right.
the Nolan movies though? Christopher Nolan's the peak of the peak.
That's true. Well, I would count that as Robert Eggers' route too. Right? Like, I was actually talking to my brother-in-law.
Prestige.
Like,
You have to go one way or another. It's the red pill
Yeah.
or the blue pill.
Ari Aster, one-hit wonder, two-hit wonder. Now, Robert Eggers is like master of horror. Now, I think he hasn't missed.
Banger after
Even his
banger.
like bad movie is still good. Like The Lighthouse isn't bad. It's just weird as shit. You know?
Isn't it
That's
just
fine.
like a lot of
Yeah, dude.
masturbation?
It's about a
it's-
lot of it. It's two men
It's
alone.
about
in
a lot of it. Like it's a pivotal plot
mean, it's-
point.
It's just a recurring theme, is more.
It's a
what it
recurring
is.
thing. Yeah.
How is masturbation a theme?
Because
You're
you're
alone.
lonely in a
Yeah, it's
fucking
lone-
lighthouse.
Oh, okay, so
everything's
male
about
loneliness
loneliness.
is the theme, not masturbation. It's just
Well,
like that is
Eh,
All
thing that
roads lead to
happens.
masturbation. Let's put it that way.
You're always just a few clicks away from Big Black Ticks. I can't remember what movie
It's
that's
true.
from.
Honestly,
Every
it's not
movie is
wrong.
about masturbation in one way or another.
If a male made it,
Do you-
yeah, it's
Do you want an animal? Do you want
Well,
an
look at
animal
you,
metaphor?
Euphoria.
Do you want a sex metaphor? Animal metaphor. Okay, so
I'm
these
gonna give you
animals
both.
are having sex.
women are the only ones, and like colored people, like are the only ones making stuff about other things. If you're a white man, it always comes back down to vagina.
It's always about some weird sex thing,
Or your
some
own
weird
penis.
sex fetish.
It comes back down to vagina.
Yeah,
Looking
and
at
I
you,
mean that-
Tarantino. Yeah, the
Okay,
fucking feet
that's.
thing.
Ugh, I can't, dude. I have a Uma Thurman poster in my living room, and now I look at it and it fucks me up because it's like feet up.
Makes you
like
feel weird. Oh,
Yeah.